This cryptocurrency bull market is absolutely insane. And if it keeps up, it keeps melting faces like it has been, then there are going to be a lot of people who get really rich, and some people enough to retire inside of this year alone. But in order for you to do that, you have to time the market, sell your cryptocurrency at the right time. But I want to propose to you an alternative in this video that you can do with the Ethereum cryptocurrency, Ether, where you don't have to time the market. You can just earn passive income with Ethereum itself. And we'll call it the Ethereum retirement plan. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And so spoiler alert, this strategy has to do with staking your ETH. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do inside the staking masterclass next week on Wednesday, January 20th. And you can actually do this strategy with hardly any Ether at all, which I'll talk about later in this video. So sign up with the link down below to hold your spot today. All right, so let's talk about this Ethereum retirement plan. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just something I've been thinking about for myself and wanted to share with you all to get some ideas, right? You have to figure out what's best for your situation, make your own decisions. But let's reverse engineer this problem to see how it works. Okay, so how do you retire in the first place? Well, basically, you make enough passive income to cover your expenses. Okay, so you have to generate passive income. And that's what we want to focus on in this strategy, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of people out there who won't make enough out of this cryptocurrency bull run to just set back and never work again, all right? But still focusing on building passive income, hey, who doesn't want money that just, comes in the door without any kind of work, right? Even if it's not enough to totally retire off of. So hear me out on this, okay? And so how would you do this? Well, basically, you're making passive income through your investments, some sort of, principle that generates you a return, okay, that you can use for whatever you want to. And so in the traditional financial system, you could do this with stock market, real estate, bonds, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people are banking on putting their money here, at the top of a crypto market cycle. Basically, the idea is that I'm going to buy cryptocurrency really cheap, wait for it to go really high, and then sell it and completely exit the markets and go into something like stocks, real estate, bonds, something much more conservative that's not quite as correlated with the crypto markets. But there's a big problem with this strategy. Okay, there's actually lots of problems, but the number one is that you're going to take a massive tax hit whenever you do this, okay? So let's say you buy your cryptocurrency really cheap, okay, and then it goes up, 10x, 100x, right, in an amazing year. Then that could be a really large amount of money. And whenever you sell it, you're going to pay a massive amount of taxes on that. And that's all money that you couldn't use to generate passive income through these other means, right? If you exit crypto, you go into cash and you put that cash in this other stuff, assuming that you're honest and you're reporting your taxes, then you're going to pay capital gains tax, and that's going to really suck. So what if you didn't do this, all right? What if you didn't exit crypto markets, you didn't go to cash and then try to put it in something else that can earn you passive income, but what if you could just use your cryptocurrency itself to get passive income, right? Let's say you bought Ethereum, for example, really cheap, and like $100 or something like that in the bear market. And let's say Ethereum or Ether goes to 10K or more, okay? And then, you don't want to sell that because it's going to pay a huge hit on taxes, and you just keep it, right? And then you put it into something as Ether that can earn you passive income, then you'll just generate passive income on top of that entire amount. You won't have to take that tax hit and move it into something else. You also don't have to spend the time identifying the best place to get returns and go through all these hoops, right? You could just stay in cryptocurrency and get a passive income reward that way, right? There's no taxable event. So, as always, not financial advice. I'm not an accountant. You need to check with your accountant before you even decide to do anything like this. It probably depends on lots of different factors. But I think one of the best ways to do this over the long term, okay, keyword long term, is going to be with Ethereum staking on Ethereum 2.0. Sure, there are other ways you can get a return on your ETH, which I can talk about more here in this video, like DeFi and other futuristic crypto banks. But for somebody with some technical skills, and let's say your ETH, actually becomes quite large, then I think that staking would be a really great opportunity. So here's why. So first and foremost are just the returns on staking for Ethereum 2.0 right now. Okay, so this is Ethereum moving to proof of stake on the new version of the Ethereum blockchain. And so the staking rewards on ETH2 are currently 10%. Okay, now I realize that all of ETH2 is not launched yet, and there are problems with this. I'll talk about more in the video. You have to lock up your ETH for a long time and can't get it back until you exit phase 0. So I understand that part. And this reward can go down the more people stake. I totally get that, right? But a lot of people have to stake before we even go down to 5% or even sub 5%. Okay, so 10%, honestly, on a large amount of money is pretty good return. Now, I know people watching this video oh, I can get 5 million% in DeFi and all this kind of stuff. All right. But there's a ton of risk in a lot of those DeFi strategies. Okay. And that's one of the reasons I think the staking is a lot better for a certain risk profile when you're talking about a large amount of money, is because of smart contract risk. So a smart contract could be hacked, right? You just don't know what you don't know in the DeFi space. There's always like a new hack happening every few months or something like that. And sure, there's insurance, all that kind of stuff, but still there's a lot of risk involved with just handing over ETH to a smart contract that some developers built. Okay. So yeah, I get it that there's like all these crazy returns in DeFi, but another thing you have to think about, those returns aren't always sustainable, right? They move around, right? You have to constantly think about where the best return is. And with ETH, you just keep your ETH in one place, you stake it to the network, and it really is just a set it and forget it strategy. The only thing that you have to watch is this staking reward, right? And if it goes down so much that it's not worth it for you to stake your ETH anymore, then you can move it, right? And so also, this is a huge advantage to the other strategy of like trying to time the market, exit at the right time, and then go convert it into something else, because you're going to have a hard time getting a consistent 10% return outside of the crypto markets. You can definitely do it, all right? But for most people, they're going to have a hard time doing that. And even if you do, don't forget, you have to pay that tax hit like I talked about. And so you're still earning 10%, even if you get it on less money. But this allows you to earn 10% on a greater amount of money than you'd have if you had to pay taxes. All right, so now one thing to really emphasize is this is a long-term strategy. Okay, there are definitely some problems that I want to address right now. But this is for either a portion of your ETH or all of your ETH, whatever it is that you plan on like never selling, like for a very long time. Okay. So I've always said that, at least a portion of my ETH, I want to hold for the long term, not try to time the market cycles or anything like that. So, whether that's just some of my ETH or maybe it's all of my ETH, we'll see. So whatever, amount of ETH that you decide is a long-term hold for you, then that's what you want to focus on for this strategy. Okay. Again, not financial advice. You have to decide that for yourself. But here's some problems with the short term, right? So ETH2 staking is not liquid in the sense that right now, if you send it to ETH2, it's locked up until we exit phase 0 and until basically ETH2 really turns on and you can withdraw your funds from your validator node, okay? So just know that if you decide to go down this road and set up an ETH2 validator, you can't get the funds back for a while. So if you don't do that now, there are definitely some intermediate solutions, right? You can do DeFi like I talked about earlier, maybe with a smaller portion of your ETH that you're willing to risk, smart contract risk, all that kind of stuff. There's also, custodial solutions like these crypto banks that'll pay you like 5%, maybe more, 5 to 8% on your ETH. And another big problem is the price volatility. Okay. But again, like I said, this is long term. So in the short term, the price volatility, definitely will be a problem if you're talking about like a stable passive income source. But there are two ways to sort of outrun that problem or maybe outlast that problem. One is that like, the passive income that you actually rely upon is maybe only like half of what's actually coming in, right? So if the price goes up and down, like maybe it won't dip below 50%. And another thing to think about is like over the long term, if ETH really does become this reserve asset of a brand new financial system, as the market cap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and more institutions rely upon it, then I would expect for the price to become less volatile, right? And you wouldn't see these massive, 90% corrections at the top of a market cycle. So again, nobody's got a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen in the short term. This is a long-term strategy, but those are the two biggest problems I see with it. And those are two ways to fix it. And so the last big problem is, a lot of people just at this point can't get 32 ETH in order to employ this strategy. Okay. Now there will be a lot of people watching this channel who were, with me throughout the entire bear market who could have bought ETH at like $80, right? $100, somewhere in that range and have accumulated enough to run their own validator node. But if you haven't, right, you can still jump in on this strategy. I'm going to tell you how here in a second. But the last thing I'll say is that, there are going to be a lot of people who demand this, all right? Because let's just say the ETH staking rewards, like, it stays at 10% after the ETH2 launch, or maybe it's like, somewhere close to 10%, right? And even if the Ethereum price or Ether price is really, really high, there'll still be plenty of long-term ETH holders that want to do this. And they won't all be technical, okay? Some of them might even be institutions, and they'll need people to have the technical skills to help them like run Ethereum validators. So there can people get hired for the skill, right? So even if like you don't have 32 ETH and you want to learn how to run a validator, it'll be a really valuable skill for you as a blockchain developer. All right, so how can you stake your Ether? So even if you don't have a bunch of Ether, how can you do this, okay? So I'm going to go over all these 3 methods inside the staking masterclass. I'm going to show you how to set up a validator, how to get enough ETH to stake even if you don't have enough. Okay. So I'm going to go over all those 3, but I'm going to give you a quick recap in this video. Okay. So the first is just have 32 ETH. So like if you were here during the bear market and you accumulated ETH very cheap, right, like in the $100 range, then you might have 32 ETH in order to, run your own validator. Okay. So one is to just run your own validator node. So you need the ETH in order to do this. And so all you need to do is basically learn how to set up a node in the cloud, maybe on your own home computer, and participate in running the Ethereum network. Okay. So the other way, if you don't have 32 ETH, is basically to pool funds. Okay, so maybe this is friends and family. Okay, maybe this is just other people you know and trust that can, get all that money together. Maybe you had friends who were also accumulating Ether during the bear market or something like that, and you all can pool your funds to run your validator. So you'll still need to run a computer in order to do this. Okay, but you can take advantage of this strategy just by getting other people to go in. You can also create a smart contract that will let other people send the Ether to it and then transfer it to a validator that way. So the last way is basically to create a staking pool, and this is something that other people are interested in, who are more entrepreneurial, that want to start their own staking businesses. You can do this in a trustless way. So basically, you can create a website like this that lets other people send Ether to it, has like a goal, lets them connect with their MetaMask, send the Ether to it, and then it transfers to a new node on the Ethereum 2.0 beacon chain. So those are all the strategies that I'm going to go over into the staking masterclass on, Wednesday, January 20th. All right. Sign up with the link down below to hold your spot today. Again, even if you decide not to run your own validator node, participate in the network, these are super valuable skills because they're going to be institutions, individuals, high net worth individuals who want to get in on this opportunity, and they won't necessarily have the technical skills in order to move that Ether over to stake. All right. So they need to hire blockchain developers to do this. And these are super valuable skills to know. So as always, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're just joining me for the first time and, you want to learn how to become a blockchain developer, then how can you get started today? All right. Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage, right? You can see any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. You can try one of those out, learn how to build your own blockchain application. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to build a blockchain application step by step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. Okay. You can just click the link down below to sign up today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers. And a lot of people out there who are just getting into this space because they got excited about cryptocurrency. And you don't have to have coding skills in order to get started today. Like I said, I've helped people with zero coding background, jump into this space and get their first blockchain job. All right, so that's all we got for today. Again, hope you like this video. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.